the best of 5.
Jumping straight into game number 1 here, MarineLorD versus DeMusliM. In command of the Abbasids is MarineLorD with the blue color and DeMusliM with the Chinese in the red to the north.
I'm starting to realize I'm sounding a little bit like I smoke 50 cigarettes a day at this stage, actually, in the broadcast. Just realized that, listen to my voice.
You kind of sound like Anakin Skywalker, to be honest. I mean,
Anakin,
when,
really?
Yeah, I mean, when he was already Darth Vader and he was about to die.
Oh, okay, yeah. From my perspective, it's the Jedi that are evil.
No, it's a little later than that.
Oh, okay, we're even later in. I mean, it's kind of, you know, that's how I feel about the Bastards right now. Everyone's like, woo, camels are good. And I'm just like, from my perspective, the camels are evil. I'm sick of them, Lidakor. That's all we ever see right now. Oh, God.
But, you know,
they need to be nerfed. Kill them.
You can just become the very thing you sought to destroy and use Abbasids yourself.
No, I'm not that type. I see you're mistaking me, Lidakor. I'm the hipster. I have to be. So, like, you know, if everyone's going Sith, I'm going Jedi. You know, like, I'm always the underdog style.
But the Abbasids have unlimited power.
That's true, but the Chinese have unlimited taxes. Okay, that doesn't actually sound as impressive.
That applies to like 95% of the countries on this planet, I feel.
Yeah, inflation's a real problem, folks. All right. I'm not saying don't pay your taxes, but get creative. Anyway, we should talk about the ways that this could get creative, because we have seen what DeMusliM will do to MarineLorD. If you recall last weekend, his approach became keep, and more keeps. Wonder if we're going to get something similar in this matchup, should we reach that stage of the game.
Yeah, remains to be seen, to be honest. For the time being, it's just one scout for both players, relatively slow-paced opening for both. So far, nothing out of the ordinary, although DeMusliM has a rather low amount of food in the bank, so makes me wonder what exactly he has on his mind. Nothing out of the box, though, from him.
It won't be an out-of-box play at the beginning, right? Like, we're past the days of a weird Barbican drop, but I think around the 20-25 minute mark, we might see something funky. I think MarineLorD has a good position to defend against maybe some keep drops. He walls himself in a little bit, and that should be at the forefront of his mind, because Penny Boy loves his castles.
Yeah, indeed, and with the Chinese, he's gonna be more than happy to build those, even.
Yeah, I mean, I am wondering what MarineLorD's approach could be. He could try to end the game a lot quicker. I hope DeMusliM isn't just thinking full greed, because MarineLorD is a type of Ambassador player that does like to mass force in the feudal and engage you there actively. I think he's one of the first players to really start moving towards that style of Ambassadors about a month or two ago with mass horsemen.
Yeah, speaking of greed, though, DeMusliM, he's not afraid of any kind of aggression coming out of MarineLorD, decides to go with the Imperial Academy instead of Barbican. So he's gonna feel safe for the initial part of this game, and that's a sign that is displayed by the Imperial Academy being used instead of the Barbican.
Yeah, you're not gonna be rushed by the Ambassadors, right? They're never gonna be in your base before you have your first feudal done. This Barbican can also be used for when you're looking to extend beyond your initial resources. Would love to see him drop it probably to the stealth forest area where the deer is, so he secures forward resources. And then he can just wall the right side with lines, so then there's no easy flank point from MarineLorD.
Yeah, exactly. This is a key point on the map. This ridge out here, this makes his base very much defendable. He can wall the right side rather easily. Left side is also somewhat wallable, so if he can take this hilltop over here, he's gonna have a pretty good defendable position.
And what I'm curious to see is if MarineLorD would just go for the standardized free TC build or try to go 2 TCs into castle. This matchup feels like it lends itself to the free TC more.
Yeah, kind of feels like it. It's a tricky one, right? Because you try to punish the Chinese for going for the 2 TC Song Dynasty build, and I'm not so sure how much extra value you can get out of that third town center against the Chinese as compared to a fast castle and trying to do some raiding. But we have seen this over and over again. Right now, the answer to greed is just more greed, because it's still safer to add extra eco yourself rather than commit to an army and then either be successful picking off enemy villagers or just fall behind quite a bit because you're unable to kill anything.
And getting access to more villagers, DeMusliM is going to drop the Barbican quite close to base. A little bit surprised by that. I actually thought he'd be a bit more ambitious with it, shall we say, but I guess it's just the idle time of walking out, right? Like, you don't even have wheelbarrow yet as the Chinese.
Indeed. Stone being mined already by DeMusliM. He's actually not supervising the mining camp, just focuses on food still. Part of the reason why, of course, is because this way he can accelerate the wheelbarrow by supervising the mill. Now the Barbican is coming out, and the second town center should be well timed. We talked about this one in the previous matchup, that Rus is among one of the few civilizations that can match the town center timing of the Abbasids. Chinese could also be a sneaky candidate to accomplish something like that too.
Yeah, I think this is one of those interesting matchups because both players should just get to have the cake and eat it, right? Like, they should get the TC boom, they should unlock castle, and I think that's when the game will really begin. It fits a lot with DeMusliM style as well. Like, he's not... He isn't a stranger to feudal aggression, but if you offer him the opportunity to go later in the game with his Chinese, he'll happily take it.
Yeah, he's going to be more than happy to get that. But obviously, oh, Camel Archer now popping out here. First unit on the field.
Interesting choice.
This could be annoying, actually. It's not going to kill much because there's the village nearby, even the Barbican, but it could deny the gold from a certain angle. And look at that. The base damage is actually pretty high on this bad boy, so you got to be pretty careful here. You got to micro those villagers back and forth. A lot of idle time caused by a single unit here.
It's pretty crafty by MarineLorD. What he's trying to do is force a reaction that DeMusliM doesn't want to invest in, which would have been an archery range into 2 to 3 Chuganu. But you can see DeMusliM reacts the correct way. He says, I'm not going to actually invest in military force. I'm just going to drop a TC and block you out. However, you have to question whether DeMusliM could have placed this TC further north to protect the berries as well.
Yeah, it's a very condensed base over here. And the concern is that the Camel Archer is already focusing down the villagers close to the mill, and most of your sheep carcasses are out there. So suddenly, DeMusliM has no access to food inside his base. Look at that.
He clubbed so many of them down as well. I mean, it's just absurd the amount that he killed off there. So now it's going to drop the stables, look into the horsemen, but you're probably going to want 2 horsemen at least to feel good about taking that Camel Archer, which is good for MarineLorD because it means that he's paid for it, right? Anything past that is actually gains very clearly in MarineLorD's favor.
The value in this single Camel Archer is massive. And the thing is that MarineLorD has no desire to put out any other army because he wants to go for 4 TCs. You can see he already has a second town center out there and he's mining stone to be able to drop 2 additional ones. So this Camel Archer serves a single purpose of delaying and annoying DeMusliM, making sure DeMusliM can, or well, MarineLorD rather, can easily squeeze out 4 town centers and place them to quite advantageous positions even. MarineLorD doesn't have to play a condensed base over here because he is the aggressor, sort of.
Yeah, and it feels like in this situation, DeMusliM would have been better served by Chuganu, simply because after he deals with his camel and he pushes out, he has the option to build rams and punish MarineLorD. But because he went with horsemen, you'd think it would be better because he can move across the map, but it's not because there's so many TCs. He can't do anything with that mobility.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like, as you said, that one horseman is not going to accomplish much. It kind of feels like these guys are just probing each other right now. Just a horseman out there, send away the Camel Archer. Neither of them has a real desire to do any damage to the opponent. Just boom as much as possible. Now, one thing I'm wondering is how aware DeMusliM is about the 4 TC build of MarineLorD. Because I think at this point, given how little MarineLorD is committing to army, it's a safe guess from DeMusliM that it is at least 3 TCs. But does he know it's actually 4?
Yeah, I think the other issue as well is DeMusliM doesn't want to invest in more military because eco-focus, right? But by choosing not to do so, he plays into MarineLorD's hand. I think this is kind of like the next level brain plan, right? Where it's like, he assumes I'm doing this, so then I'm going to do this instead, right? You kind of like, you bait yourself in. Now DeMusliM's having the right read, where it's like, oh, actually, no, something's not right about this. An Abbasid player who was not being greedy would have tried to keep probing. He walked away way too easily, so I need to be the aggressor, because in this matchup, the Chinese don't actually boom quicker.
This is where the Abbasids could be intimidated. You see, MarineLorD's reaction is going to be dropping a bunch of stables. Response is going to be horsemen, mass horsemen, that is, to what will be a mixture of Chukunu and spearmen. But Chinese will have a big advantage here. They can just supervise those production buildings to pop out monstrous numbers in a second. And this could be intimidating for MarineLorD. DeMusliM could go from 7 army to 50 in about 1.5 minutes, really.
It's just a matter of whether he can keep up with it. especially considering that he's not playing on the deer yet, so not the better gathering rates. The only reason he's competing is due to the supervise from the Imperial official. Wrap around DeMusliM. We'll get an eye on what's happening in the back of the base. He already knows about the second TC, but we'll have to see if he can spot the rest. I mean, to his credit, MarineLorD has hidden that fourth TC right in the corner, where someone might be less likely to look, but considering it's on top of the deer, it's probably first on DeMusliM's list.
Yeah, that's likely going to be the primary target. Looks like camel archers and the stables will be spotted, so DeMusliM knows fully well what he's encountering right now. He knows it's going to be a heavy horseman play, supported by some camel archers, some archers even. His numbers are looking healthier and healthier, but he's pretty far away from pushing MarineLorD at this point, which could possibly open up the option for MarineLorD to go into castle, but then again, that is more than risky here.
The problem is, if MarineLorD can hide the fact that he's castling up, which should be doable if you eliminate the scout, then DeMusliM might not leverage his timing correctly because he'll be paranoid on the defensive. I think that's the goal for MarineLorD here. But for now, you can see he feels uncomfortable, so instead he's doubling down on Horseman. Might offer up an opportunity for DeMusliM to think about teching up instead, because your opponent reaches a point where he builds too many Horsemen, your Chuganu can never win, and your only option left is to go for the tech up as the Chinese.
Yeah, for now it's Mass Chukanu supported by some Spearmen out here. Spearmen actually not joining that group of Chukanu. And it looks like we're gonna have some Volos up from DeMusliM. He has played a game very reminiscent to this back against Wham on Dry Arabia. That was with quite a lot of Vols. He used the English in that case, but story was the same. Vol up and use those Vols as a shield to buy you time to get to castle.
I'll have to see if he can buy enough time though. He's heavily leveraging Chuganu. And the horseman count continues to escalate with archers behind it. MarineLorD's comp just looks better right now. We're going to see that in the first fight straight away as well.
Oh, this is scary.
Horsemen are going to push the villagers away from gathering on the deer. This is problematic. DeMusliM needs the extra gathering rates right now. The quickest to escape. Villagers will stand their ground as the Chuganu do reveal. Straight away, MarineLorD gets the probe that reveals the entire layout of DeMusliM's army.
Yeah, DeMusliM didn't have vision on those archers. He's getting baited into this one.
Spears are still alive, so MarineLorD doesn't want to commit just yet. Still waiting for the second wave to arrive here. Horsemen continue to back up though, and you can see the archers whittling away at that spear count. Another issue here as well, Chuganu being slightly outranged, not able to easily stick on top of their targets, let alone pursue. This is going to be the weakness of the Chuganu. They can't easily choose where they fight.
Yeah, here come the reinforcements. This is what MarineLorD is missing. Actually, will take the hilltop and the flank.
The gap, through the gap, straight away forces DeMusliM back, tries to wrap around on the Chuganu, and you know this front line is not going to last long, at which point DeMusliM will struggle to retreat due to how slow these units move.
What a move here by MarineLorD. He just baited DeMusliM to dive deep here, making him believe that he can take that fight, and then the flank round comes in using that hill. Suddenly, MarineLorD's unit composition is more than healthy. And given how exposed the hunt is for DeMusliM, he can no longer afford to just sit back and wait. He needs to keep making army because suddenly he's more than exposed.
And that's the double down that MarineLorD was looking for. Now he has the option. He can either go for his tech up, or he can just look to go all in on feudal now. I actually think going all in on feudal works better here than going for castle.
Yeah, well, kind of fits into the current scene with the extended feudal ages and once again the contest of who blinks first. Are you gonna be the one willing to risk going into castle age first, or are you just staying in feudal age hoping that your opponent does that in that moment and then you can do a counterattack?
So it's a double down coming out from MarineLorD, even prepping the phalanx as well, so it will have superiority in almost every regard. DeMusliM becoming even more reliant now on the Chuganu. It's the only thing that can really keep him alive. That just makes it easier for MarineLorD to double down on Horseman. Breaks through, makes his way in onto the deer stack, and that's going to be an instant pull away. Can he commit to the fight is the real question mark here. 11 spears could be problematic, and you see in this count that Chuganu shred through everything.
Yeah, they're just massacring the spearmen on the front line, but once again, MarineLorD is pulling back, and keep in mind, MarineLorD now has a big eco lead compared to DeMusliM. So he's more than happy taking these fights as they are.
Yeah, it just feels like it's very difficult if you're condensed here. This is where Chuganu really get into their prime, is when they can hold a choke point. Now, if you get enough archers, you will be able to make your way through them because the spearmen won't be able to hold, but in the meantime, you have to think about the cost association here. MarineLorD is expending a lot more and getting a lot less now.
Yeah. And those spearmen, beautiful micro here by DeMusliM, just pulling them back the moment the cavalry disengages. And then when the cavalry comes back, he's going to send them forward. But now Spearman gone, and suddenly those horsemen will be there to soak up the arrow fire. Archers pushing deep.
Yeah, there's enough archers here to clean them up as well. The Chugenu isn't really making the difference anymore now with the horsemen in the mix. These archers, they don't even need to go after Chugenu. They can easily just take out the villagers, but he understands beating the army is more important than beating the crap out of the economy.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You destroy that ball of Chugenu, you still will have the option to kill the villagers with the second wave. For now, he's going to regroup, but the problem for DeMusliM right now is that his front line is going to be gone, whereas for MarineLorD, he still has some units on the front. Spearman, horsemen joining the fight once again.
For MarineLorD is he's over-leveraging wood right now. I don't know if he's planning a farm transition. Yeah, there you go. That's the explanation behind it. So it was intentional. It's going to allow him to double down on archer production as well. While Chugenu can beat the crap out of archers one-on-one, if you start massing them up in this quantity, it's going to be difficult for DeMusliM to keep pace.
Yeah, and once MarineLorD has the farm transition complete, it's a different story, because he's also securing a lot of map control, still getting himself some berries, and you see, DeMusliM is going to have resource shortages displayed by this mill on the far left side. An ugly outlook for DeMuslim's future here.
These filthy herbivores, they got a long way to go if they want to go to the right side of the map because of the way it's walled in and been generated by the map. DeMusliM might be forced to make a farm transition earlier than intended. High ground is achieved by good old Obi-Wan here. Problem is, you don't have to care if you're MarineLorD. You can just walk away. You can still go wider, and if you do go wider, you might spot out that berry patch.
Yeah, and that is going to be an open field battle. Once you breach those walls, it's a different story, and DeMusliM wants to go to Castle Age first. Not much behind will be MarineLorD. He's also thinking about himself, but right now, I'm not so sure. Uh-oh. This could be a disaster, KP. He found them.
Not like this. Not like this. Horseman's in. They'll sniff out the tax, man, but they know wherever their tax is, there are idiots who are willing to pay him. They might be able to find him afterwards. Looks like the Chugenu will be able to block out, but it's still going to push him back, and that gives vital info over. Why was he here on berries? Why would he resort to this? He must be running out of food.
It's even better. You see the berry patch completely depleted. You know fully well that not only was he on berries, he already depleted that. So he must have food shortages right now, and he has to make a farm transition. And that's going to come at a bad time, as he just reached Castle Age with the granaries. This is the timing that MarineLorD could be looking for.
He's all in on the push. Remember, he's also got his tech up ticking behind this, so he'll be prepped to upgrade very quickly at the beginning of his own Castle Age. DeMusliM still able to hold for the moment, courtesy of the almost 50 Chugenu in the field that are now being upgraded. Should prove quite lethal here. MarineLorD, with his saved up resources, could quickly just look to get the second level of ranged armor, offsetting a lot of what DeMusliM could do in these fights.
Yeah, DeMusliM might need to take a fight here while he has the Castle Age advantage. He can supervise the production buildings to get the upgrades, so he needs the veterancy, he needs the blacksmith upgrades, and then he needs to force a fight before MarineLorD gets his own upgrades, because once that happens, you gotta ask how efficient DeMuslim's army can be, especially once mangonels appear on the field, those Chugenu having such a short range.
Absolutely. Not to mention the fact that MarineLorD has plenty of bulk resources due to the fact he's a pop cap. He's looking for a reason to throw away an army right now. His economy is insulated to late game pressure.
DeMusliM doesn't see.
DeMuslim's is not.
He doesn't see it.
Wrap
He's
around.
gonna get flanked around.
Horseman. Backstab coming in. Hesitant to take the fight though. He doesn't know where the spears are. Two-pronged assault opportunity there, but MarineLorD hesitant to take it. He wants to get his tech upgrades first, and he realizes DeMusliM with majority Chugenu might struggle to dive here. But he's going to try anyway. This is dangerous what Ben is doing.
If MarineLorD survives, he's going to be in such a good spot. I mean, he's floating 5,000 food that he can burn. Mangonels now coming in here, and this is not something that DeMusliM is prepped for. He's got absolutely nothing that deals with mangonels.
I'm worried. I'm actually worried because DeMusliM isn't blowing base up quick enough, right? Even if you get rid of this TC, like MarineLorD, because of the way he structured himself, he doesn't have to force a defense on it. Due to the fact that he has 3 or more TCs anyway, and he's at 133 eco. He can wait for the second mango, but looks like he's going to make his move now instead. We'll force the Chugenu back and away. These choke points are difficult because it means that you can easily body block out any assault by these horsemen.
Choke point is beautiful. First of all, coming out here. Beautiful hit on the Chugenu.
It's going to evaporate fast. Looks like he's going to back away. DeMusliM somewhat content with the damage he's done, but I don't think he realizes how little he's done here. Needs more out of this. Mango shots coming in, pushes him back further, and this is the problem. It's a crawling retreat. Horsemen coming to clean up the rams. Chugenu have to split up and run. And that means everyone left behind is going to be gunned down by the Abbasids.
Mangonel still alive out there. Castle Age upgrades also in for MarineLorD, and so many of those Chukunu heavily damaged from the Mangonel fire. They should be an easy target for those archers. There is no retreat here for DeMusliM. He's about to lose his entire army, KP.
He's one-dimensional, Lidakor. Look at what he's got. 3 spears behind this, 4 Imperial officials, and a ram. And not only that, the wildlife hates you as well. MarineLorD has called in, no, I'm not going to make that comment. He's called in his mum to help out, but it looks like he's going to retreat away. MarineLorD now taking control of the midfield. DeMusliM fully condensed within his base, and he needs a transition fast.
Here's the shocking thing. MarineLorD is loading 7,000 food, and he's pop-capped. At this point, all he needs to do is make a market, and he can go to Imperial Age, while also having a vastly superior army compared to what DeMusliM has on the field.
Archer's marching up. The timing on this keep being built up. He built it fast enough to get it up, but what are you securing with this is the big question mark for me. I'm concerned. MarineLorD tech up underway. Pressure continues, still at 200 pop cap. Willing to take every single fight, and this Chugenu Death Ball only looks like it is crying its own death these days.
Yeah, it's gonna be an even trade here when it comes to numbers. The big difference is that DeMusliM simply can't afford to replenish his troops as fast as MarineLorD can. MarineLorD is more than happy trading armies here, and he's going to push deeper and deeper into DeMu's base.
What was it they said about the Chinese, Lidakor? Wasn't it that they are the best TC booming civ? And no. MarineLorD is proving something here. The Abbasids do it so much better.
Oh, the Mangonel fire is still doing so much work, and this is the problem of the Chukunu. They have such a short range, and it's very difficult to dodge the Mangonel fire from that close.
Yep, short range, short legs. They can't dodge, they can't dive. Problematic. And, you know, you saw DeMusliM was gathering stone for the center, looking for a keep drop. It's probably his only redeeming factor, his calf reinforcements. But, oh, no!
Oh, no!
No!
He's gonna do it!
It's gonna be too late. It's gonna be too late. Wololo. This is gonna be so tight. DeMusliM hits the garrison.
The split-second difference between the two. At least DeMusliM gets a happy moment for himself in a game that just shows a lot of sadness.
I will say MarineLorD was greedy there. He went for pretty much all the villages. If he went for half of them, I think he would have got it. But yeah, good play by DeMusliM. He'll continue gathering the stone now. He's slowed down the reproduction rates, but MarineLorD, quick to react, switches over to Horsemen that can easily go wide and avoid this keep.
And now you're on up in Imperial. You can just go for bombards. That's a big difference compared to just trebuchets. Trebuchets take a lot of time to take down keeps that are being repaired. Bombards, not so much. You can get rid of that keep in the next half a minute for MarineLorD. And then, as you said, just use the Horsemen to keep raiding and raiding. And the Muslim's eco, it won't survive that.
Feels like DeMusliM is working overtime to try and get the Chinese build speed nerfed here, doesn't it? With that keep play. I mean, this was the map with his civ. Obviously, MarineLorD had a different one that he took against MarineLorD. The only map he took last week. If DeMusliM does it here again, China's going to get nerfed, guys. Just saying.
Oh, this is looking really rough right now for DeMusliM. Still has 100+ villagers, but the problem is that so many of his villagers are idle. He's down 1 age, and he keeps getting raided and raided. For now, this castle is buffering up some of that aggression, but MarineLorD is ready to take it down. MarineLorD a little low on resources. That could be a saving grace here for DeMusliM, though.
I think the farms are escalating, and the issue is that that's an exploitable detail if DeMusliM had cavalry. He lacks it, though. He's full static. He's always defensive, so it feels like MarineLorD would actually just have to forget to transition food himself to actually fall behind from this.
Yeah, Horseman doing a great job cleaning up the Chukunu here in the middle of the field, and that castle on the front is there, but you simply can't get an army into the base of MarineLorD because your army is too slow moving and it's getting intercepted by the Horsemen.
Ben, please, what are you saving all this gold for? Are you trying to buy a throne? I don't... Maybe he's going to donate 3,000 gold to MarineLorD, and MarineLorD will leave him alone for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that may work in the campaigns, but definitely not in multiplayer and in the tournament.
Oh, hey, did you see that? All that gold being gathered? All that unnecessary gold being gathered? Be a shame if Horsemen would have come in there and kill everyone. Oh, good luck. I mean, he needs this. I think DeMusliM needs this right now. because he clearly doesn't realize he has way too much gold. This should remind him.
Well, at least he's gonna have a decent bank despite losing all the villagers on the gold mine.
That's true. You know, this just frees up pop cap. Pop cap that he can use. Okay, he's 140 pop cap. This is problematic.
MarineLorD also losing quite a lot of horsemen in that battle. He's down to 16. He also needs to kind of set back for a brief moment and just reorganize his stuff because he's been sending units into the meat grinder and he needs to be cautious. As you said, DeMusliM is floating 5,000 gold and he's sitting behind now stone walls. So as much as MarineLorD is in a good spot over here, once those stone walls are indeed completed, it's going to be difficult for MarineLorD to raid, and DeMusliM could drag this game out to a point where he has a chance to recover.
That's true. Although there are trebuchets in play, and that was DeMuslim's fault because he built a keep. And they're going to find value. They're heading up north to deal with that northern keep now. New wave of horsemen also coming in. That's going to force a reaction out of DeMusliM to go defensive, and that just might allow the trebuchets to camp there for free.
Yeah, DeMusliM has a decent army out here, but obviously it's just castle age upgrades for them. Also, no response to mangonels that are there for MarineLorD in the raid. Once again, just tearing apart the eco. DeMusliM needs to find a way to stop these raids, otherwise there is no chance for him to recover.
I mean, it's just, he doesn't have the right units to stop the raids. Like, it's weird to say, but Spearman is not the way you stop these raids. It's actually Palace Guard.
Yeah, couldn't see that work. He needs mobility above all. He's gonna try a defensive keep in the middle of the farming eco. That's gonna be well positioned. Problem is that once again, he's gonna have a ton of idle time on his eco. And behind this one, he's losing the only keep that's guarding him.
Oh, no. No more keeps for you. Them. Yeah, why would I want these Chinese villagers? They cost double my Abbasid people.
You wanna know the funny stuff about that? He just converted 10 villas to delete them when he had 15 horsemen nearby. He just leaves them alone. The horsemen would have done the exact same thing, but, you know, I guess style points go to MarineLorD for that.
I mean, he was robbed of his Wololo before. He won't be robbed of it again. Need to get at least one Wololo each weekend in the road to Wololo, or does it really count?
Looks like Trebuchets got taken down over here, so DeMusliM keeps the keep alive for the time being.
Yeah, but once again, why no Palace Guard? I guess it's a food issue, right? Like, spears are cheaper.
Yeah.
And he is struggling on food, but I just can't help but feel Palace Guard would have given him a better chance of holding this.
Yeah, he's gonna try going still with Chukunu, not a single Palace Guard in play. Spearman number is also not terrific, and now he's facing men-at-arms. That's the bigger problem. And Imperial Age men-at-arms would just shred the costly Chukunu. That's not even a question. Yeah,
honestly, all Chukunu do to men-at-arms here is make them roleplay as hedgehogs because they have so many arrows sticking out of them. They don't kill them. You can see how underwhelming the damage is going to be here. Men-at-arms just stand there, they get their clash, and meanwhile, behind that, the horsemen come in to clean up all the villages.
And those horsemen will deny repairs.
Well. By the way, Bombard is breaching this, so bye-bye defenses soon. DeMusliM, you've had fun with your castles, but unlike last week, MarineLorD seems better prepared for it.
Yeah, keep is going to go down over here. Goldmine was exhausted anyways, but still, this is the only thing that defends the right flank of DeMusliM, and now MarineLorD can just start marching in.
And you know, it's a good thing that gold mine was exhausted, Lidakor. It'd be a shame if DeMusliM he was running out of gold. You can see it's very close.
Steady 5k gold in the bank. At least he's consistent with that.
Is he just like, is he like, I'm done being an AOE4 pro, I'm gonna become a panker? Yep, must be it. He leaves the battlefield with 5,000 gold in his pocket, but MarineLorD leaves the battlefield with a win in his.
And that's going to be something that MarineLorD is probably going to be more happy about than DeMusliM is. Indeed, 5,000 gold left in the bank in the end for DeMusliM, but really, the push for MarineLorD too strong. And Abbasids showing their prowess. This was a 22-minute Imperial from MarineLorD off the back of 200 population and like 70 army on the battlefield. That is terrifying.